Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got a really fun video to share with you guys. Obviously we have a Spyderco knife here. Now I've looked at a lot of Spydercos, most of what I was actually interested in. But there have always been a few models, some newer, some older, that I've never gotten to take a look at that I definitely wanted to. And thanks to River's Edge Cutlery, I'm going to be taking a look at a few of these models before the end of the year. Today's is one of them, and it's definitely a weird one, even for a Spyderco. Thanks so much to River's Edge Cutlery. You guys need to check them out. They have some awesome, specifically some awesome Spyderco exclusives, but they also have a cool Cerakote program and some other neat benefits on their website. So I'll invite you to check them out. I'll link this down in the description, as well as River's Edge Cutlery in general. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. What do we have? Brand new. This is a civilian. This is a Japanese Spyderco. So many of you have already experienced this. I have never experienced this knife. Never handled it. Oh, God. Is it like that? Is it... What the heck? Closed up. It's like this. Oh, my God. Oh, this is so weird, man. Okay. So I know... just from some light reading, this is bizarre. Super old school. This is to me, like, this is how I remember seeing Spyderco. I don't know what model I saw for the first time, but it might as well been this. Like this goofy, weird, kind of like plague doctor in need of braces looking thing, you know. It was what I remember thinking of Spyderco the first time. And the funny thing is they have a model that is about as ridiculous as it gets. That being said, I am aware that this knife, I'm pretty sure, is for... I don't touch on a lot of self-defense stuff on this channel because I don't know. I'm not a self-defense expert. What you're about to hear is literally just from me reading. I think the idea, I have no idea if you're supposed to hold it backwards or not, but the purpose of the shape of the blade being hooked like that is ripping and tearing into what would be, you know, otherwise very difficult to get through, right? Let's say you're fighting, you know, you're in a back alley in the 90s and the dude you're about to fight is wearing not one but two jean jackets. This will get through both. and still cause an insane amount of damage, right? Can you imagine? It's fully serrated with, I would call this a double like it's recurved. Not really. It's just belly and then like an extreme recurve out here. It is wickedly sharp though. God, that is like a needle out at the tip. Absolutely insane. Definitely one of the most intimidating looking knives I've ever seen. And while still being purpose built. This is, for the vast majority of people who watch this channel, this knife is going to create more of a hindrance day to day than it will, you know, make something easier because it's designed for something so specific, right? Cutting into, like, can you get into packages and do your typical, like, EDC stuff without even using it? Yeah, obviously you can. Like, it doesn't take a professional of anything to go, yep, that's sharp. Yeah, it'll do it. I think a simple, you know, Warncliffe or utility edge will do it substantially better, right? This is kind of those like 1 in a million circumstance, right? This might be more optimized to defend yourself with than some things, but I don't know. As is the case with anything knife related, there are an infinite number of variables to argue over. Variables that I hope many of you are arguing over right now in the comments section. I can't wait to read them. Because, you know, knives like this, they do invite the internet combat expert or two. Those guys are awesome because they take themselves completely and totally seriously. I'm just saying, like, if you're going to make your argument in the YouTube comments section, like, that's the last place to just start your paragraph with, as a professional of whatever, right? Because it's like, the environment kind of dulls that a little bit, you know? But It is fun. Either way, whatever your expertise is, right? Maybe it's true. Maybe you are a professional maybe you're a professional cutter thrower of jean jackets, right? Is this the optimized tool? I don't know. Is this made well, right? For people who want my perspective as a design knife reviewer, right? Is it made well? Yeah, it's a Spyderco. It's made well. I've handled like less Japanese Spydercos than anything else. But like the Delica, the Andela, the Endura, right? That line, as well as many others, are made in Japan, and these all seem to be made pretty well. I would say definitely nicer than your Chinese Spydercos, at least on par with the USA stuff, and then not quite as not like the Taiwan Spydercos tend to be the nicest overall, or are the most consistent. But I would say that this is pretty much indistinguishable in terms of overall fit and finish from like the US stuff. So yeah, is the blade centered? Yes, and here's why I can say that. It's because this is a chisel grind, right? You have the bevel on one side, and then it's not really a chisel grind, but that like the grind makes I'm sorry. These serrations by nature are going to be chisel ground, but there is a V like taper. Like there's a conventional V, and then it comes down to the serrations, which themselves are chisel ground, because that's the nature of those things. So what happens at the tip, though, is that you're slanted on one side because the cutting bevel is only on one side, leading it to look off-center when it actually isn't. I would say it's actually dead on. We have G10, Peel Ply Texture G10. We've got the stainless steel backlock, which works really well. It's actually very, very smooth. I'm really intimidated by that, that hook beat. This is the scariest looking knife. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to have anybody pull a weapon on me anywhere. Like a knife is definitely like a whoa. You know, even somebody who handles knives daily, I'm still going to be pretty terrified if somebody pulls any type of knife on me, right? If it's a knife and like the back end of it is like a pineapple or a hot dog or something, if it's got a blade at the end, I'm still going to be like, that's a blade. This is terrifying. This is absolutely horrifying. The amount of damage that this blade shape, I've always been under the, you know, like, I'm kind of like, yeah, I mean, like, if it's a sharp blade, like, it's probably, you know, if somebody's using it, everybody likes to, you know, be like, well, I've watched a lot of anime. I can tell you that certain blades will do far more damage to your adversary. Like, I hear a lot of that, right? For the most part, it's like super circumstantial. Like, if it's a sharp edge, it's going to be pretty dangerous, right? So like my battle strategy is always like, if I were in it, I've never been in that situation, I'd be like, I'm going to get out of here. This though, I think this specifically is far more likely to do insane damage to somebody. That is so wicked, man. Best case scenario, the blade breaks off and they just have a shorter blade to do anything with. Because, I mean, man, that thing is scary. Tip up or tip down for right-handed people only, apparently. So, yeah. Can you reverse flick it? Oh, you bet you can. Cool, though. This is also huge. How long is it? The overall length is coming in at... Wow! It's 9 1/8. Blade length is almost 4 1/4. Cutting edge is 3.75. So... I'll weigh it too. I'm going to review this, but this type of knife always gets a certain type of crowd really heated on this channel, right? 4.7 ounces, as to be expected. This is cool but for a totally different reason than any other Spyderco knife. Would I personally EDC this? No, because for what I'm doing, it's going to make everything just less practical, right? Do I think that you would? That it is capable of functioning in the way that it is intended? Absolutely. Yeah. I'm not a combat expert at all, just looking at it. Yeah, for sure. When I review this, I will review it the same way that I do everything else. And a lot of people are going to get upset and say that you should touch on all of the different aspects of self-defense. And I'll tell you why I don't want to go down that road. Because all that whole territory of knives is just a cesspool of people claiming to be superior in knowledge over the next person. And while we have that here in our corner of the knife world, it's much calmer. This sort of combat, like melee weapon expertise area of the knife world is chaos. It's like an 8-player Smash Bros tournament. Like 8 people on screen. That's what it looks like. It's crazy. And nothing ever gets accomplished. So no, I'm not interested in learning all of the different potentially correct or incorrect, ways to think about this in an inconceivable number of circumstances. No. And I don't really want to touch on that stuff. I will, I think, briefly touch on it. I'll probably read about like the details of why it was designed the way that it was, and probably bring that up in the video. But I don't want to get into the weeds of why this type of blade would be better in this specific circumstance, assuming it's like a perfect one-on-one Street Fighter kind of, right, versus an infinite number of other knives that are apparently designed for self-defense, right? When it comes to practicality in folding knives, we see a lot of the same stuff within certain parameters. When it comes to optimal self-defense knives, they're all over the place. You know why? Because everybody's got a whole different idea on what works or doesn't work in however many environments, right? Want to know how I know I'm right? Look down in the comments, because they're already down there, right? Just the fact that I brought it up and don't want to talk about it invites people to come in and give their 2 cents. I'll be shocked if that's not actually going on, but I'll be happy about it. But anyways, that's the reason I'm not going to review it like that. I have a couple of knives that I have reviewed and not reviewed from the perspective of someone who's going to use it as a self-defense type of thing. And I remember having some heated comments. So yeah, I'm gonna do how, review these how I always do them, or review this how I always do it. It is cool though. It is cool. Not something that I find visually appealing, and not something that I personally would enjoy carrying. Or before carrying it, I'm assuming, right? But we'll see. That's gonna be it today, guys. Please, thank you so much to River's Edge Cutlery. Please check them cutlery. Please make sure to check out River's Edge Cutlery down in the description. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click in that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.